guys, we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I do apologize for the interruption to the stream, and I know we lost most of the viewers as a result. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But hopefully we're able to get everyone back here as we continue our broadcast of the Enki Christmas Invitational, I should say. And again, I do apologize. I've noticed now it has been a trend for the past 3 days. For the past 3 days, every single day at this time, and it has been affecting all of our morning streams, the connection to the Australian Sydney server has been interrupted. I need to just, at this point, I'm just going to stop using it. I'm going to just stop using the Sydney Twitch server. It's just not working, at least not at this time. Now we're back. What did I do? All I did was I had to turn the stream off, connect to Japan, and then go back on. So I'm now since streaming to the Japanese server instead, and everything looks fine. Everything looks stable. Again, it's just what can we do? I didn't know what to say. I don't know what to say. So yeah, I was hoping that maybe it was like an anomaly, but at this point, 3 days straight, it's a trend, and yeah, I just have to actively make sure that I am connecting to different servers depending on the time of day, because that makes sense. SMH, my head. Regardless, we're jumping in. Regardless, we're jumping back into game number 2. Again, SHIN is taking a lead in this series. As a reminder, this is a best of 5, and we are diving back into our game. Whew. Now, I believe because of the disruptor to the stream, I believe we did, the stream may have missed like a minute or so of gameplay, but we are settling in. SHIN is getting up to his own 5-base setup, getting a safe base on the way. ByuN was being active with drop play, but SHIN was able to keep up, was able to shut him down, and now we have entered this game state. ByuN backing off, getting a 4th up and running, going to be turtling up, and both players are looking to max out. As a reminder as well, if you remember, the upgrades are a little bit uneven here for SHIN, but he is taking up towards Hive Tech, towards a Hive Tech, towards 3-3, towards Adrenal. Spire is on the way as well. ByuN going to be forced back. ByuN is going to be forced back here. SHIN keeping up. And ByuN is just walling up, throwing down turrets, throwing down sensor towers, more CCs, more tanks as well. Taking a slow approach after some of the failed aggression of ByuN. From here, SHIN could try and go into Muta play, but most likely setting up for Corruptors for even a later game state. Overseer gets shut down. And SHIN hasn't even overinvested into Hydras, and there's no Lurkers in either. So it doesn't look like he's really too interested in taking into Lurkers. Hive is now done. Do we go for the Ultra Cavern? What is the plan here? SHIN just focusing on spreading creep, engulfing the map, containing ByuN. Do you have the option to connect to other Twitch servers manually? We do. It's just the problem is, which is annoying, is to change the Twitch server manually, you have to turn off the stream. Like you can't just hop from server to server. So had to turn off the stream, and that will disrupt the VODs as well. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Oh my god. As ByuN is freeing up supply, making room for some ghosts. Has to kill his own Marines. Feels bad, man. Feels Marine, man. His Marines are being focused down, and ByuN is replacing them with ghosts. Ghosts are now on the way. Meanwhile, from SHIN, I assumed it was going to be a Greater Spire, and there it is. Greater Spire is in production, so he's going Corruptor into Broodlord. And honestly, not a bad map for Broodlord. Specifically this location. This cliff face is very abusable with siege-based units, whether it's Liberator, Tank, Tempest, or Broodlord. Can shut it down. SHIN threatening a dive. But really all SHIN needs to do is just take the map, but play it slow, play it safe, steady, deny the fringe bases, and take into those broodlords. There's no rush. Oh, ByuN comes in, takes down an empty medevac. Meanwhile, ByuN will deny expansion. Speak of here by ByuN. SHIN, he responds. Could try to go for a planetary. And he is going for it. He's going to commit. Tanks are exposed. Gets 1, gets 2. Oh, just the one. Just the one tank going down. Shin, he doesn't commit. Pulls away. Double expanding. Shin taking almost every other base on the map. Taking all the bases. Oh! Takes out the full medevac. Nicely done. Shuts ByuN down. ByuN scans, sees the Greater Spire, is aware. Immediately Thor production. Thor production. Thors are on the way. He's getting ready for the Broodlords. We're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna be here for a while, Papi. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Let's go. Shin is repositioning. Trying to keep up. Likewise, ByuN vying for map control. Let's fight for that control. Yoink's coming in, gets one. Oh! Gets two and an SCV. Does Yoink the SCV and 3 tanks. A rough trade here for Shin, as he did trade out 3 Vipers for that. Has a rebuild. 3 Vipers on the way. Broodlords are in production. It's going to be 1-0 Broodlords. But as we mentioned, ByuN is aware, and that's why he's ready to go those Thors. Thors are building up over time. Shin coming in with a run by. ByuN is keeping up. Defends the base. And should save the CC. Oh! I say that is getting quite low. Shin won't quite get it. Has to pull back. Behind the Shin, getting ready for Broodlord Infestor. Oh! Catching out some of the ByuN. Building up 4 Infestors. Broodlords have arrived, and yeah, they're going for this cliff face. Going for the tanks. The mineral line. Anti-airs not quite in position. And ByuN, who will lose control of this location. Will lose control. Thors, they rotate, they respond. Here come the Vikings as well. But the Queens are here. Transfuse. Oh, nice Parabomb. Parabomb as well. Yoinking the Thor. Yoinking the Viking. It's a bit of everything. Sides are brutal, but the Transfuse, they keep the Broodlords up and running. They can't just keep pushing. They force back the ByuN army. They force back ByuN. Ling Bane coming in to support the tanks are on siege. Brutal pickoffs. Tanks, they're gonna go down. All the tanks do fall. Broodlords moving in. Nice snipes from the Hydras at least. But again, barely any of the Broodlords have gone down. 1 Broodlord actually. The Transfuse, they're too good. The Transfuse. There we go. 1, 2 Broodlords falling. 3 even. Nice Fungal. Locking down the army. With the Chain Fungal as well. Picking up more of the ByuN. And the reality is that Shin has been just so efficient. With his Transfuse, with the Fungal growths. With the abductions as well. Takes down the expansion. Planetary falls. And ByuN, he's being broken. Shin has a bank. ByuN, less so. There's getting more bases. 19 SCVs go down. ByuN attempting to reclaim that base. Shin down to 6 Broodlords. He's got Corruptors. Has plenty of Corruptors left over. ByuN double expanding. Oh my god, the Mule Hammer. Jesus. Does mule it up. ByuN sustaining himself. There's a ghost. I mean, the space is so exposed. Planetary is not ready. And Shin, he will scout. Will confirm. And the mules are going to be shut down. There should be no saving this expansion. It'll pick up. Likewise, Lings, they do confirm the northern base as well. Thor's coming in. And they take down another Thor. And Shin, he just commits. Going for the ghost. Some of them getting caught out. Bailey's up, they connect. And 3, 4 ghosts going down. Brutal pickups. Broodlords behind this, gaining ground. Shin pulls away. Be reinforcing. Nice snipes. From 6 down to 4 Broodlords. At 1.4, but 7 more on the way. As ByuN, he just commits. Takes out more Broods. But as he overextended, Lings him in for a surround. Their Hellbats are reinforced. Thors are getting shut down. A very efficient trade here for SHIN. It takes down the Thors for melee. Lings takes down all 4 Thors. And SHIN holds. SHIN, he holds. Significantly less anti-air here for ByuN. ByuN down to 130 supply. And the Broodlords are back. And SHIN is just diving in. At this one, he has broken the back of ByuN. Takes down the Ghost, the Thors. Breaks through that defensive line. And ByuN just cannot keep up. Not anymore. Down to what? 1 Thor and a handful of Ghosts. It's not going to be enough. The boys are being pulled. Yeah, moment of desperation here for ByuN. Nice snipes. Gets another Broodlord. Let's get another Broodlord. Barely trying to hold on. Hydra reinforcers trying to force the issue. Not the cleanest fight here at the SHIN. It's gonna be enough. It's gonna be enough in the end. The burrow, the scan to shut him down. Honestly, it did look like he wanted to lunge in. I don't think the burrow was intentional there from SHIN. And SHIN, he should clean this up. Is there detection? There is. Plenty of detection. We got the Overseers, we got the Changelings. Snipe on the final Broodlord, down to 1. And ByuN, he holds, he's holding, he survives, gets the final Brood. But behind this, no economy. Behind this, he's got 50 SCVs. Oh, the mules though, true. The mules are here. Does mule it up. Behind this, SHIN transitioning into mass. Oh, it's 17 lurkers. He's crazy. I mean, now there are no tanks. Oh, I say that. There's still 3 tanks behind this. Tank count is still quite low, though. SHIN just switching into mass ground. To mass lurker. ByuN attempting to stabilize. Trying to hold on. SHIN, he rotates, going for the northern base, going for the planetary. ByuN out of position. Planetary does fall. There's no saving this. ByuN down to what, 1.5 bases here, if that. That's a 1 base mining. Nidus into the main. Nidus as they will finish. Lurkers just pushing through. Lurkers into the main as well. And ByuN is just getting pulled apart. Brutal pickoffs. Yeah, got the Ghost. The Ghost go down. GG gets called. And SHIN, he will take a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, I do apologize for the stream going down in the middle of that game. Do apologize. I will make a mental note to, at least for the morning streams, to avoid the Australian server. Do apologize. But regardless, the show will go on, and we are jumping into game number 3 here to determine, can ByuN fight back here and now, or is it going to be a 3-0 in favor of SHIN? Let's go. Game 3 is going to be on El Dorado. The pressure is on. Now, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner, of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Zerg player, also from South Korea, representing GuMiho Gladiators, leading the series 2-0. It is SHIN. Now, as a reminder, ByuN did open up a 3 ranks Reaper in that last game, and ByuN has been going for just some fairly aggressive builds in general. As a reminder, game 1, ByuN went for a 2 base all-in. Game 2, he went 3 ranks Reaper into Greed, into a macro game, of course. Did find himself there, but again, was hyper aggressive early on. Game 3, what do you have for us? As ByuN sets up on the high ground, this time will not be committing into Mass Reaper. Not anywhere near as much as previously, at least. Not anywhere near. So we are going to be settling in. SHIN, he is going to be taking his natural. This time, no early pull either. Just hatch gas pull out of SHIN. Likewise, Rax expand out of ByuN. Whew, we can settle in. Also, shout out to, I see Flip a Flapjack in the chat as well. Kid, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Good to see you all. Good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back. And yeah, gonna have some fun trying to edit this VOD together. I'll do my best. Do my best. Smurge. And so SHIN does move out. Sorry, that's ByuN does move out. ByuN does move out across the map. SHIN taking his third base. Going for his third, droning. The dance has begun. It's going to be up to ByuN here to try to find some damage. Peeking away at the Lings, at the drones. Not really getting any headway here. Not yet. Behind this, going for his factory. We should be seeing a third CC behind this as well. I mean, welcome one and all to El Dorado, one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool. But alas, in a best of 5, we're able to embrace it. True. And ByuN, he's rushing into the gold. Let's go. And this is what we want to see. ByuN going for the third CC on location on El Dorado. The forward base as well. Very bold move here by ByuN. Very greedy, very risky. And we'll see if SHIN can get an eye on this. And we'll see if SHIN can punish this. If not, this can snowball out of control. Rushing into that gold base. He's crazy. ByuN rotating around, looking for a way in. Keeping SHIN's attention here on his side of the map. Back into that CC is almost done. It's almost complete. From here, going into 3CC Banshee. I believe SHIN has yes a scout. Yeah, he doesn't know.
That field's been mined out.
God damn it.
Hope you have an expansion.
Every time. But SHIN, he doesn't know. He hasn't seen the setup. Hasn't seen the gold. Doesn't know how greedy ByuN is being. As he's coming in with the Overlord Scout, there is a Marine to deny the Scout as well. To keep SHIN in the dark. SHIN, he commits in. We can see fake cloak on the way, as ByuN has no intention of finishing up Interference Matrix. Just trying to force an overreaction. Overlord doesn't see much, and there's a cancel. As ByuN is building up those Banshees, and he now has the go base getting up and running. So far, so good. From here, he could even try to A-Rax, true. A-Rax is kind of quite hard on El Dorado. Those curious, and A-Rax is a 3-base all-in. So we'll keep an eye on the production. For now, just getting up to 3. Double E-base, double upgrades, Lings, they attempt to scout. SHIN has yet to confirm, still doesn't know. Has no idea. Has no idea. As ByuN is getting into his 5-rack setup. 5 racks is getting up and running. 3rd CC fully saturated. SHIN getting his own 4th. Joining up quite freely here, getting up 3-way saturation. 1-1 upgrades. Bailiness. Lair as well. SHIN just playing standard. Just settling in. And really, my eyes are going to be on ByuN here to see if he takes extra gas. I mean, there are no gases. This has to be a 3-way soul in here. We'll see if he takes the gas geyser. We'll see if he's able to throw down a 4th CC. Getting ready for confirmation. Does he throw down a command center or, like, 3 more Raxes? That's what we're waiting for. SHIN, he's looking for the 3rd. He's like, what's going on? Where's your base?
Looks like we're going to the late game.
Where's the expansion? As SHIN is getting his 4th base saturated, now getting a 5th. ByuN moving out, and ByuN does not go for a 3-base all-in. He will expand. 4th CC on location. ByuN moves out, and we'll see what ByuN can get done. Doesn't commit. Clearing a creep. Gaining ground. Supply blocking SHIN. As Bailey's just now on the way. Bailey's speed is not done. And ByuN doesn't quite commit. Doesn't test his luck. ByuN getting forced back. Like SHIN coming in for the surround, trying to collapse in the army. Bathing speed does kick in. Ooh, massive connections. It does catch ByuN with his pants down. The tank does fall as well. And so far, a good fight for SHIN. ByuN getting caught out, going for his own double jump to the south, catching out overlords. Oh, look at the supply block, SHIN. And once again, another supply block. Tank is at the Zonaga. SHIN, he spots it, he wants it. We'll bring it down. Barely not. Flush on siege. ByuN saves the tank. Consolidating his forces. SHIN is now aware, and he has a couple of Hydras. So that's mining time. Denies a little bit of mining. Pulls away. Connection again? Wait, no shot. No, we're good. We're good. Oh, if you're referring to the first Quacker, yeah. As I mentioned before, every day the morning stream has had connection issues. I'm just gonna stop using the Sydney server. I'm just gonna stop using the Sydney server at this point. It's just not worth it. As SHIN, he's maxed out. ByuN pushing forward. Once getting caught on creep. Up. SHIN going for the dive. He wants it. He wants the Marines. Does catch the tail end of the army. SHIN getting ready for a massive counterattack as well, coming from behind. ByuN pulls back. Still being active. More Bailings on the way. ByuN just going almost pure Marine. Jesus. Just now making Marauders. The Mass Marine. Who needs anything else? A couple of Marauders would be nice. Wouldn't mind in the mix as well. And just trying to keep up with SHIN. SHIN likewise being active. It's being active on the map. Marines at the mineral line. Drone's going to be pulling. Not bad. Getting 6 drones. 6 drones going down. ByuN going for another counterattack here towards top left. But SHIN is focusing on the main fight. Oh, once again, a bit of an awkward engagement. Moving moving into tank fire. Shinny's going for the gold base. Tanks get surrounded. Bailey say roll in. Oh, and they will connect. ByuN attempts to slip, but again, there's no Widowmines behind. There's no Widowmines, no other tanks. It's just pure fire. Widowmines just now on the way. But ByuN is being broken. The mineral line goes down, and Shin, he will overwhelm. And just committing to the Mass Marine a little bit too long here. He had no backbone to his army. And Shin, breaks through. He breaks through. GG gets called. He shuts ByuN down, and Shin will take the series 3-0, advancing on to the finals. GG. GG, well played. A dominant performance here by Shin, but also ByuN being very unique with his playstyle, very unique with his builds. Oh, with how he did approach this. Again, winding it back. ByuN in game 1 went for a 2-base all in, game 2 went 3x Reaper, game 3 went for a hyperfast third base into mass ByuN into mass Marine for a very, very long time. Remember, he only had 2 tanks, and his first Widowmines were on the way towards the end of the game, towards the end of that fight. ByuN wasn't quite ready here to take that kind of defensive fight back at home. I'm sure ByuN, he was hoping that because he was going for all these counterattacks, he was hoping he would keep Shin busy. He was hoping he would just keep Shin busy at the 4th base, at the 5th base as well, while ByuN would gear up towards a better army, a more superior later game army. Didn't quite get there though. Didn't quite get there. Shin had enough. He had maxed out, and Shin just went for it. Just went for the kill then and there. If Shin had waited any longer, it would have been a more difficult process to try to break ByuN, just because Marauders are amassing, Widowmines are amassing as well. ByuN was refining his army over time, but did need more time. With that, GG. GG, well played. That leads us into the finals here, into the final best of 5. Here we go. And we are going to be setting up for that final series. Scrolling on over, we have our top 2. Zoun takes down GuMiho 3-1. Shin takes down ByuN 3-0. And the finals is going to be, once again, another rematch between Zoun and Shin in a best of 5. Not a best of 7, just purely best of 5s here for the Invitational. Ooh, and again, shout out to Enki. Big shout out to Enki. For those who do not know who Enki is, he's a Spanish caster. He's a good friend of the channel. El hermoso, papi, el hermoso. Enki puts in a lot of work when it comes to casting, when it comes to organizing events. And this is the first of many events organized solely for Enki. These events did occur a couple of weeks ago, and there was no English cast. There was no English cast. It was only casted in Spanish, and Enki, he was kind enough to share the replays with us, and will be doing so for future Enki events as well. As Enki, he did begin his series last week. He started a series called the Enki Pro Series, where he does host show matches between 2 players on a semi-regular basis. I believe it was either a best of 7 or a best of 9. Actually, I believe I have best of 9. Jesus. So Enki's been hosting some best of 9s between players, just like a one-off show match every now and then, like maybe every couple of weeks, maybe once a month sort of thing. So we'll be all over that as well whenever they do come around. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a very short break here. Going to be going on a short break. And when we come back, we'll have the final series of the broadcast. Again, I do apologize once again for the stream going down earlier. Hopefully everyone can find us, and that also means that I have to put in extra work when it comes to editing the VODs. I'm going to have to try to splice them together, and hopefully the VODs are kind to us when it comes to what was saved and all that good stuff. So yeah, we'll have to do that. Regardless, going on a short break. When we come back in a couple of minutes, we'll be live with the final series with Zoun versus Shin. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OC as we returned with the final series of the broadcast of the Enki Christmas Invitational. We just wrapped up with ByuN versus SHIN, with Zoun versus GuMiho, and now we have our top two. We have SHIN and Zoun facing off in a ZVP. Let's go. As a reminder, this is going to be a best of five between these two players, and we'll see how this story ends. Again, SHIN and Zoun have been very active as of late. We were mentioning earlier how SHIN has been playing in everything. Likewise, so has Zoun. Zoun, he only recently, I want to say at the end of November, returned from the military. But Zoun, he has been on the rise. He has showed up real quick in terms of skill, in terms of results. And we'll see how he does compare to this Zerg player here in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline. The South Korean Zerg for Gaming Gladiators, it is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Whew. Teamless, returning from the military, it is Zoun. We go. Just settle in. Zoun doing so well after his comeback. He really is. I mean, it took a month, which is not long at all. Took around a month to get back into the swing of things. Of course, in recent days, Zoun, what did he accomplish? Well, he went all the way to the finals in the most recent Lima League to face off against Clem, and it went all the way to the ace match in a best of 5, which was crazy. Zoun, he took down SHIN to do so. True, did take down SHIN in a Lima League to make it to those finals to face off against Clem. Likewise, Zoun, he also went to the ace match against Raynor in Masters Coliseum. They had a back and forth as well. Also went to that final ace match. You don't get much better than that when it comes to Terran, at least for Clem, and when it comes to Zerg for Raynor. I mean, more than that, you get to Cyril, but mate. So Zoun has been on fire. And we'll see if SHIN can bring it down. Now, what I will say is that SHIN, as opposed to Raynor, as opposed to many other Zerg players, SHIN, he's a lot more unorthodox. He's willing to be a lot more aggressive as well, willing to be a lot more all-in. He's kind of like Dark Light, in a way, if that makes sense, where Dark, he's a lot more extreme in that sense, where he's just hyper-aggressive, non-stop all-ins. More standard play is a rarity from Dark. I would say it's like 50-50 with SHIN, where SHIN, he is willing to embrace more standard play more often than not. So maybe 60-40. For now, though, we're going to be calming things down. Pylon is going to be placed. And as a reminder, Zoun's standard opener in this matchup is Stargate into Void Ray, into Void Ray, into Void Ray. Zoun is very... Oh, but that is not a Stargate. That is a Twilight Count. So I did take note of the placement of the Pylon further back in the main. And Zoun is looking to spice things up here in game number 1. Now, with a Twilight Count opener, this could be one of two things. We could be entering a Glaive Adept opener, like 4-gate Glaives, into an expand with some aggression, of course, or we could be seeing a DT-based opener instead. Now, Zoun has yet to pull out. He has not pulled out a gas, so I'm leaning more towards something more committed here from Zoun, potentially a Dark Templar. We'll see if he pulls out or if he stays in. As the Twilight Council is about to finish, and we can soon... There it is, Glaives with 6 workers mining gas. Interesting. Now, what I find the most interesting here, there's no robo. Gateways are on the way. This looks like potentially 3-gate Glaives into a 3rd. If the robo is skipped, then the purpose of this build is to skip the robo and afford a faster expansion. So it's like a macro version of Glaive Adepts. Assuming, yeah, 3rd gateway. There we go. So it's going to be a 3-gate setup here, and Zoun should expand. So this is a build that has been permeating mainly throughout the European scene. Every now and then we actually have seen, I think we've seen Creator do this once. Obviously we're seeing Zoun do it here as well, but this is very uncommon amongst the Korean protosses. I'm referring to Hero and Classic. They rarely, if ever, have ever done this specific build. As here comes the expansion. Again, like macro Glaive Adept, basically. Macro Glaive Adept, going for the 3rd base. Likewise, because there's no robo, because there's no warp prism, there's no reinforcements. So what you see is what you get. Zoun is going to warp in like 2 wave of adepts, move out across the map, and then macro from there. And we'll see if he can catch SHIN off guard. SHIN amassing up 20 lings. SHIN being very careful, of course. He has noticed that there is no Oracle. There should be, but there isn't. So more lings are amassing. SHIN moving out to deny the expansion. Adepts is still building up, and here comes the Shade. Adepts are revealed. But the Shade has to be cancelled to defend the base. Double Stargate behind this. Are we going Glaive Adepts into double Phoenix production? Potentially. Zoun, he's got some builds. Okay. Zoun, he's been watching some VODs, Pat. Alright, I see you. As the Stargates are on the way. Shading across the map. Behind this, SHIN now going into his lair. Roach production as well, just to be safe. Roaches. Droning up, at least somewhat saturating. SHIN, he's actually staying on a very low drone count. SHIN, he transfers. This screams 2 base all in. I say 2 base all in. SHIN, he transfers workers from his natural to the third to make it look like he's droning. So when the adept or when an orc, when anything sees his space, it's like, oh, we're droning. We're not droning. SHIN, he is not droning up. He's amassing roaches. He's going for an all in. Oh boy. Okay. Now I think this is smart because I think this is actually really smart. Just because, what does Zoun have? Remember, Zoun, he delayed Blink, he delayed +1, he delayed Robo production, delayed Immortal production. He delayed everything in favor of Glaive Adepts that are stuck at home, and Glaive Adepts that don't do anything. It's roaches, and roaches are massing up. So SHIN is going for an all-in, and what is there to defend? There's going to be Glaive Adepts, there's going to be some shield batteries, and there's going to be some Phoenixes that can lift up 1 unit at a time. This is going to be a tough hold for Zoun. Not impossible, it's going to be tough, especially with SHIN. There we go, morphing in more Overlords, massing up more leads behind this, coming in to reinforce. Typically, how do you deal with this kind of army? With Oracles, with Station Traps, with Pulsar Beams, but there are none. Here we go, it's all or nothing for SHIN. Does move in, Ravagers are exposed. Gets one. One Ravager going down lanes, they try to come in for a surround, they try to collapse on the army. They look down the Adepts. Just barely, and Adepts are going down, brutal pickoffs. They come into the Shade, Mineral Line is exposed, and Perps are falling. SHIN, he should break this third base. Nice lifts here on those Ravagers though. Does lift the Ravagers are going down, Lings they wreak havoc. And they should kill the expansion. The question becomes, is this enough? Yeah, it's gonna be enough. 18 probe kills, next is gonna be going down as well. And from here, SHIN can then head towards the natural expansion as more probes are falling. There's just no saving the expansion again. What are pieces going to do? What? Lift up one ling at a time? They're out of Enki. Pieces are out of Enki. They cannot lift. Not anymore. There's nothing that they can do. Essentially dead supply. SHIN trying to force his way in. Up, he sips in. No shot. He sips in. Gets us around. The Immortal should fall. Yeah, there's no Enki in the shield battery. Once again, just lifting up 1 ling at a time. Thankfully, there was a sentry. But SHIN is breaking through. He's breaking through. The shield, the force field, it's going to run out. Up, second force field. Behind this, into Hydras. Into Hydra production. SHIN, he does drone, getting up to 3-way saturation. He's droning up. He's saturating. Zoun has to get something done with these Phoenixes. Cybercore falls. And Zoun defends. Zoun, he defends the natural, but doesn't matter. He needs to get damage done. Catches a couple of Overlords. Hydras are amassing. Oh. Ooh, SHIN commits. Does commit in. We'll lose 1 Phoenix. 1 Phoenix goes down. Hydra's still building up. Hydra's still amassing in each of the mineral lines. Oh. Once again, we're going to be losing 1 Phoenix. 2 Phoenixes. 2 Phoenixes go down. Lings, they once again catch out the enemy. They force a recall. They get all the sentries. 3 sentries. 3 sentries do fall. And Zoun is on the back foot. Once again, trying to re-expand. So here comes our Nexus. SHIN behind this, amassing more Hydras. Infestation Mist on the way. That can be for Infestors or just Hive Tech. Just take him to Hive. SHIN is at least supply blocked. True. Oh, the contamination. Contaminates charge, does deny it. Behind this, getting another base, droning up. Shin is getting up to 4 base saturation, 72 workers and counting, getting up to 80. So again, Shin looking very comfortable economically and massing up Ling Hydra. Now, what is Zoun going to have to work with? He is building up towards Storm. We have some Archons, we have a Temple Archive. Storm would be ideal, but the reality is that Zoun cannot really afford an army. He can't really afford to sustain himself here as he's lacking a third. So the army is very lackluster. It's very bare bones. There's some high quality units here, don't get me wrong. There's Archons, there's Immortals, but the size, the quantity just is not there. And here comes Shin. Now, you could argue that Shin is being a little bit premature. If Shin really wanted to, he could just chill. He could just chill back at home and Zelsa come in to harass. Not bad. They hit the mineral line. At the same time, Shin goes for the kill. He goes for the third. Nice force fields. They do slow him down. Roaches, they turn back around to defend. Shin, he does not have enough here. Uh-oh. Shin, he has to back up. He has to retreat. Leading out a couple of Hydras. Very nice goes here by Zoun. Cashing out so many Hydras. And Shin here overextended. He should not have been here. Shin losing every single Hydra. Uh-oh. And Shin's in trouble. Shin, he's in a lot of trouble. He has tech, but where's the army? It's not there. Zoun is moving in. He is running out of force fields. He has to be careful. As Roach Hydra's building up. Zoun, he is suddenly back in this game. Again, as you mentioned, all Shin had to do was just chill. Just chill, saturate his 4th base, take it to Hive, take it to Lurkers, mass up Hydra, Lurker, Viper. But Shin, he got too excited, he got punished. And now suddenly Zoun, he's clawing his way back into this. Clawing his way back in. Storm is still not researched, bear that in mind. So it's still just Charger, Archon, Immortal. No Storm yet. Phoenix's poke in. Catching a stray roach, at least trying to. Like, Shin is still ahead, don't get me wrong, but not as much as he should be. As Zoun is breaking out, getting a 4th. Now, Dreamers, I'll say, do hit the northern base. Up. Shin is going to get caught out. Not bad. Catch roaches. Catch some Hydras. But Lurkers are built up, and there's no real answer to Lurkers. Sure, they can be lifted by the Phoenixes, but there's not that many left over. Only 4 Phoenixes left. So roaches counterattack. They force a recall. I'll say deny the 5th. Shit, he's maxed out. He's maxed. We have Lurkers. Tempest are building up, so technically if Zoun is given time, he can recover, getting to Sky Tilts, but the ground army is here and now. Shin moving in. Going for the 3rd. There is an attempted counterattack, but oh god, the Archons are getting picked off at the base. It's going to go down. Once again, shuts down the 4th this time. Tempest are revealed, and impressive that, I mean, Zoun has teched his way into Tempest. Don't get me wrong. So I'll say attempt to run by, drop here towards the 3rd base. This will distract Shin and forces him back home. So once this is dealt with, then Shin can focus on just denying the 4th base. That's the win condition for Shin. Deny the 4th over and over and over again. Just to make sure that Zoun doesn't expand, that Zoun doesn't gain an economy, that he doesn't max. Likewise, Shin respects it. Spire's on the way, so he's getting ready for the mass Sky Toss. Oh. Prism goes down. Nothing to keep him back. Here we go. Shin does push in. And the Tempests are nice. We have 4 Tempests so far, but the reality is that Shin can break through this. He can still break through this nonetheless with Hydra Lurker. Heading back at home. Up! Ooh, that's going to be a kill. Kill, not a cancel. Not bad. Hatchery does fall. Zoun, he is attempting to expand, and again, it's going to be on Shin to make sure that doesn't happen. He rotates over. Likewise, pushing through the center. Zoun out of position. The natural base is exposed. Zoun going to be distracted, and does he have a recall? It's a little bit more Enki. Zoun, he turns around. He's racing back. Shin does catch a Tempest. Tempest goes down. Natural's being broken. Shin forcing his way further in. Zelsa do hit the middle line. 5 more drones falling. But the rover goes down. And the base as well. Shin takes down the natural. Going for the production. Up. On the Tempest. A little bit late to pull away. 1 Tempest falls once again. Back at home. Shin defends. Putting out 6 drones. Putting out 6 workers. Shin pulls back. Tempest count still on 4. Zoun is pushing. He's going for his own counterattack. Shin, it's going to be his turn to be out of position. He has a handful of lurkers, that is true. But Zoun sees the army. Does spot the lurkers. Shin needs a little bit more time. He's going to make his way back home. Nice lifts. Takes down the lurkers. Shin pushing in. Sorry, Zoun pushing in. Shin coming in from behind, coming in for the surround, putting in Corruptors, Hydra Lurker as well. And this time, Shin has more than enough. Nice movement with the Archons, denies most of those Corruptors. But despite that, the spread is too good. Tempest go down, and the Grand Army thereafter. GG gets called, and Shin will take game number 1. GG. Shin will take a lead in the series, and Shin will start things off with a win. The pressure now going to be on Zoun. Again, when it came to that previous game, Zoun, he was recovering, but he wasn't quite able to stabilize. As a reminder, Shin, he went for an all-in. He did cripple his opponent. He was able to kill 18 probes and the 3rd, and that was enough to give Shin a massive advantage. Shin did overextend with his Hydras, if you recall. That is true. That was a big loss for Shin, but it wasn't enough for Zoun to catch back up. Not completely. It was a good start, but did need more. With that, Shin maintained his lead, and with that, we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Kaiman Gladiators, leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Down in the series, looking to bounce back and to make a series out of this, it is Zoun. See you in chat. Shin ahead with T2 Army versus tier 3? Yes. As we were trying to emphasize, the win condition for Shin was not to kill Zoun, was to deny the 4th. If you remember, we're trying to emphasize that, where Shin, he was able to kill the 4th base towards the top side of the map and make sure that mining was denied. He didn't kill the 4th towards the south, but he killed the natural. And again, it was all designed to keep Zoun's economy low, so Zoun could not actually sustain a tier 3 army. He was able to pump out a couple of Tempests, that is true, but he couldn't afford to support the army. Like, that's what it came down to. Came down to the economy, which all did begin with the 3rd base being sniped early on. That leads us into game 2. Leads us into a much larger map. Welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. Abyssal Reef is the 2nd largest map in the map pool. Is a very large map, very defendable as well, on 2, 3, 4 bases. And Zoun, I'm sure, is going to be much more comfortable to go for a different approach. As a reminder as well, when it came to the beginning of game 1, Zoun, he went for Glavedeps. He went for a macro Glavedep build, which is where Shin saw an opportunity to go for an all-in, which is why Shin did so well, because Zoun was vulnerable early on. Here we should be seeing something more standard. I mentioned earlier, I did allude to it, that Zoun has been very fond of Void Ray openers in more macro games, going into like triple Void Ray, into Archon, into Storm. That is Zoun's go-to. We'll see if he does embrace that here as well. As we saw, Zoun rely on that quite heavily against Raynor, if you recall. Against Raynor, against the other top Zerg players as well. As there is that Stargate opener. Stargate opener initially here for Zoun. Shin poking in. Zoun, I believe, yep, fully walling off. Does fully wall off this location. And there it is, as you mentioned, Void Ray. There we go. So again, this is Zoun's go-to. I would expect, especially when it comes to some of these larger maps, to see this. Typically, Zoun doesn't just open one Void Ray. So this is very stylistic to Zoun. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here. I'm assuming that Zoun is going to commit into a second and a third Void Ray as well. This is not for mass Void Ray. It's just a way that typically Zoun plays safe here to get a third base. It's very unique. Honestly, no one else plays like this. For now, Void Ray into Oracle. We'll see if he makes a second Void Ray after that Oracle as well, which is typically what Zoun goes for. For now, hunting down the Overlords. The first Overlord does remain hidden, just barely out of vision. Don't breathe, don't move. We'll see if Shin gets a scout off. For now, checking for the third base. Zoun will expand. And the Oracle has arrived. Zoun moving out for scanning formation. Third base getting up and running. Zoun getting secure. And I assumed it was going to be a second Void Ray. We'd go one step further. Tempest. Oh boy. Zoun rushing into the Fleet Beacon. Now, I'm assuming we're going to be seeing a second Stargate into Mass Sky Toss. There is a build that has been permeating throughout the pro scene, though, where you go for the Fleet Beacon into one Tempest, maybe a Mothership, and then into Ground Toss. So you try to force an overreaction out of your opponent. So we'll see if Zoun does get a second Stargate or not. Now Zoun poking in. Keeping tabs on the base. And yep, there it is. That is not a second Stargate. That is a Forge and a Twilight Council. This is going to be initially Tempest, then into Ground Toss instead. So the goal here is you do want to reveal your Tempest early on. As the Overlord is coming in for a scout. Actually, I say Tempest. Okay, there we go. This could also be Mothership, but yeah, it's going to be a Tempest Rush. And this is going to be scattered, but I mean, Zoun, he missed the Overlord. This should not have happened. This Overlord should have gone down. Because it doesn't fall, he sees everything. Shin, he confirms the Forge, the Twilight Council, the Gateway Explosion as well. He knows now not to focus purely on anti-air. And again, this Void Ray had one job. The one job was to kill specifically this Overlord before the scout. Alas, Void Ray did miss it, and with that, Shin is fully aware of what's going on. So big scout here for Shin. With that, will not neglect his ground army. If everything had gone well, Shin would have responded with a Spire into Mass Corruptor, into Limited Ling Roach on the ground, and then bam, you show up with like Charger Archon. Like with Charger +1 in Archon and Storm, and then you just overwhelm the Zerg player. We've seen many a Zerg player die to this, but only if it goes unscattered. As there's Charge on the way, as we mentioned. Charge into Archons. First Tempest, and only Tempest has arrived. Tempest poking in. Can a one-shot drones. So he gets 2 workers. Oh, he gets 3. And it does get 4 drones. And we do see Shin just buying time with the queens, just tanking shots. Spire is almost done. Meanwhile, Storm on the way for Zoun. Getting a 4th base. Last chance to use. Shin just maintaining himself. Spores are on the way. It's going to be 10 Corruptors. I would say this is a bit of an overreaction. 12 Corruptors for Shin. That's a big investment for half a Tempest. It's going to be a big investment here. Now, Corruptors, they have their place where they can try to caustic spray down buildings, true. But it's going to be up to Shin. And I guess there's a Void Ray as well. So there's a second unit they can deal with. I guess. That's going to be 7 drone kills. And the Tempest does float away. Corruptors, they do rotate. They're actually going for the base. They're going for the Nexus. Let's go. So good use of these Corruptors. As there is one cannon, but no shield battery. And Corruptors, they don't care about your cannon. They go straight for the Nexus. And the Nexus, it should go down. Zandy tries to respond. Base falls. And from here, he wants the Tempest. He wants it. He's going to get it. Yeah, 2 volleys go off. Tempest does fall. All that's left is that 1 Void Ray. Which might be intercepted as well. Uh-oh. Yeah, Void Ray goes down. And Shin going into Mass Muta. Okay, let's go. So 12 Corruptor into Mass Muta. It can be risky is what I will say. Blink is not done, thankfully for Shin, but there are Archons and there's Storm as well. So there is anti-air available. Shin has to be very careful to avoid these Archons. If he can, though, he can wreak havoc. Corruptors, they do hit the 4th. And can they focus down? It's going to be closer. This time there's an army in position. Despite that, it looks like up. Will get the Nexus. 4th base goes down. Mutas, they hit the natural. Storm is ready. Mutas, they don't get anything done. Not yet. He shuts down the Mutas, but he will lose the expansion. Behind this, 2nd Stargate into Phoenix production. Getting ready. Oh shit. Oof. Once again turned away. Storm popping up. Behind this, more Mutas in production. Okay, Shin, he's committing quite hard. Oh my god, the Storms! Storms, they connect. Shin, be careful. The Mutas are very low. 1 more Storm would be enough. Shin reinforces. Cannons are ready. Oh, Storm zones away. Shin retreats. We can see Shin trying to transition into Hydra Lurker. He's getting there, but these Mutas, they haven't really been worth it. Does get the Oracle. Picks up a couple of Stalkers. Oh my god. Once again, Storm swapping off. I mean, at least Shin, he's forcing these Storms, but there's plenty of energy. Oh my god. Yeah, brutal Storm on those Mutas. So far, 8 Mutas going down, 8 Corruptors as well in these fights. And we can see here that Shinny's done with making Mutas. He's done with Mutas, he's working towards Lurkers, but is he ready for the ground push? Is he ready for the main army of Zoun? Jesus. Let's see Archon hold its own. Yeah, brutal shots going off. 1 Archon goes down. And Zoun, he may just snowball from here. He may just snowball out of control. Shin, he has to defend with purely Ling Hydra. Mutas taking him from behind. They take a lot of Archon shots to the face. The Archons pop up. Hydras are falling. And Zoun, has he done it? Has he broken through? Takes down the Hydras, pushing in towards the natural. And Shin needed more time. Did need more time here. Storms have arrived. And Zoun, he's overwhelming. This investment into Mass Muta, not worth it. It was not worth it. Not at all. The Mutas, they beat up a couple of probes here and there, but nothing major. And SHIN, he is struggling. Massing up roaches. Trying to survive. Lurkers are not going to be a part of this. And GG gets called. Zoun, he fights back. He puts a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We have it back and forth. It was a very bold move for SHIN to go into the Mutas. The Corruptors did well. Remember, the Corruptors, they killed 2 bases. They killed the Natural and the 4th base. They caught the Tempest. They caught the Void Ray. The Corruptor investment was worth it. The Mutas, lesser. Maybe not at all. The Mutas had potential, of course, but as we saw, Zoun, he had Priest with his army. He had Storms. He had Archons. He had plenty to defend, and with that, did shut down the Mutas. It was a big investment. Because of the investment into Mutas, what does that mean? That means delayed Hydras, delayed Hive, delayed Lurkers. Like, the ground army was suffering because of the Mutas, and it was just a big risk there from SHIN. Wasn't worth it in the end. GG. GG, well played. Was not worth it. And we have it back and forth. And we'll see who takes the lead in the series as we're going to be loading into El Dorado. Let's go. Maybe Rainer's like, maybe Mutas, they're a bait. Mutas, like, they're, like, when they work, it feels so good. It's like, yeah, like, you know, the Spire goes unscouted, and the Mutas, they can pop off, and, you know, maybe their opponent is getting caught out of position. There's no static defense. Like, there are moments for Mutas, true, but they're few and far between in ZVP. And, we see what happens when they're far between. Oh, no. Not ideal. But here we go. We're getting into game 3 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Gaiman Gladiators, being forced into his hideout series. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Red Protoss player, the Red Protoss from South Korea, tying up the series. Momentum is on his side. It is Zoun. Here we go. As we do welcome one and all to El Dorado, one of the smaller maps of the map pool, one of the more unorthodox maps as well. And again, we're in the best of 5, so we're able to experience some of these otherwise vetoed maps as well. I'm curious how our players do expand, how our players do approach this. Because of the map layout, you can take the southern bases and go for the golds. You can expand towards the north and expand away from your opponent instead. Likewise, short rush distance by air. We could even see Zoun once again go for an early Fleet Beacon into early Tempest. Is viable here on El Dorado. You want to stay there, opener, just gate expand. Gate expand by Zoun. And hatch gas pool out of Zoun. Sorry, out of SHIN. I say good. We are going to settle in. And I feel like for the most part, my eyes are going to be on SHIN when it comes to initially how he expands. We have an answer. Oh, never mind. We'll see if SHIN starts to mine through those patches. We can see that Zoun checks as well. Does make sure. Pylon gets thrown down. Based on this location, looks like a Stargate-based opener. Did mention previously that Zoun is quite fond of Void Ray-based play, but we'll see if he does embrace it this series. So far, has yet to do so. Did have a Void Ray opener on Abyssal Reef, but it was, I mean, to hide the tech, to hide the Tempest. We are settling in, and SHIN, he does go for the forward base, but he goes for the gold. Bold move. He rushes into the gold instead, and the Adept will confirm. There we go. Does get eyes on the expansion. A very greedy move here by SHIN. We'll see if he can get away with it. Right now, the pressure is going to be on Zoun to punish the economy and to punish this base. As SHIN is rushing into the gold. It's going to be an Oracle first out of Zoun. So we'll be zooming across the map to get some damage done. Like my Shin back at home, playing speed, pulling out of gas, just running up, and soon to be mainlining over to saturate that gold. And that will give him a boosted economy. Here comes our first Oracle into a second. Looks like a standard build here by Zoun, going into triple Oracle into a third of his own. As Zoun has no mind through those patches, and will take the linear third base instead. Next is on the way. Shin, he is here to attempt to delay. Attempt to, gets us around, Oracle is in position, and Shin is forced back. Zoun holds. Zoun does hold, cleaning up all the lings. Behind this will go basically saturated. The queens, they move forward. Going to be 3 queens to defend. Spore at the natural. Spore in the main. So far, so good. The oracles are deflected. Eva Chambers in the production. This should be for +1 melee. Keep an eye on Shin. As so far, it looks like Shin is not going for an all-in yet. He's just droning. Just droning, just saturating. Getting up to a 3 base economy. Down does catch a couple workers. Oh. 3 getting 4 drones. 4 workers go down. Does pull away in time. Nice movement here by Zoun. There's that melee upgrade. Typically, pulse on melee indicates that Shin most likely wants to skip Roach production. I mean, you typically do in this matchup. We'll see if he can get into Ling Hydra. 4th base on the way. This is the other big feature of El Dorado, is that if you can control this location, that's just 2 free bases. And they're right next to each other as well. So defending one defends the other. I mean, it can be quite difficult to punish this location. So far, triple Oracle into +1 and Blink. Standard follow-up out of Zoun. Nothing out of the norm. Not yet. Now, Zoun can turn this into a 3 base all-in and skip gases and throw it in extra gateways. It's possible. Hello, Probe. Speaking of going for a 3 base all-in, what's going on? Are we rushing to the center expansion? Or setting up a proxy? Hello? As the Probe... Yeah, there we go. Setting up a proxy. Okay, 3 base all-in is upon us. How many gateways do we have? 4 so far, 8 on the way, soon to be 9. It's going to be a 9-gate 3 base all-in. I say that gases are being taken. Usually you would actually skip these gases, so this does give access to tech. Ooh. As Lings, they spot the proxy. The Probe does go down. This does delay the gateway, does delay reinforcements. Down, he wanted to commit, but the pylon is going to fall. Never mind, we're diving in the army instead. Blink is done. Blink is not done. Massive pickups here. Blink is not ready. And Stalkers are going down. 1, 2, 3, 4 Stalkers falling. That helps as well. Pylon goes down. And Zoun is in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. He was attempting to go for aggression. Alas, it's anything but. Blink is now finally done. He's racing back home. Lings, they do surround 1 Stalker. And behind this shit, he's amassing up Ling Hydra. Question becomes, does Zoun attempt to bring another probe and attempt to go for another 3 base all-in? I mean, again, he's not mining these gas. Not making probes, not mining gases. Massing up more Stalkers. But Zoun, he's so heavily delayed now. Leaks over the wall. Coming in for this round. Forces the blink. Zoun moving in, gets 2 Hydras. Takes down the Queen, almost. Shin is holding. So far, so good. He's holding on, forcing more defensive warpins. And Zoun is teching. Robo's on the way. Now, this could just be for War Prism, or this could be for tech. Into a Bay, into Colossus or Disruptors. Zoun is being active. Gonna be forced to recall. Getting caught out. There it is, 4th base on the way. Zoun, he's attempting to transition, but this is a late 4th for Zoun. Very late. Remember, Zoun, he was going for an all-in. He was going for an 8 gates, or really 9 gateways. He was shut down. He was denied. Now he's stuck with purely Blink Stalker, which can be efficient, as we can see here. Trading against those Lings. Now we get a second verb on the way. Bay into Colossus. Zoun needs more time. And Shin is cutting workers here at 69. Oh, sorry, Zoun is. Shin cutting workers at 65. Almost nice. Is cutting workers, massing out more Lings. Baneliness on the way as well. Let's get to the main. Oh, this aces. Up, up. Massive connection. Takes down the Hydras, and Shin, he has to back up. He has to retreat. Has to get the hell out of there. Brutal stasis connects. Colossus on the way. And Shin, he's committing very hard to this. Shin, he has a choice to make. He could be taking into Hive and Lurkers, but he's not. Shin, he's committing instead. It does commit, stasis going up. Nice concave here with the Hydras, though. A very nice concave. Does collapse on the army. Links into the mineral line. Probes are going down. Stalkers are holding their own. Do hold their own. But despite that, it's going to be still 11 probe kills. And the base is being broken. Shin, he knocks down the fourth. It's going to be a kill. Colossus finally does arrive, and this should trigger Shin to start throwing down the infestation bit into Hive. Should be a sign to transition. But Shin is still committed, making more Lings, more Banelings. Oh, the Banelings, no! He gets in! And there's no escape. Not this time. Banelings, they crash into the middle line. Probes, they try to slip, but there's so many Banelings. And with that, the fourth goes down and the third base mineral line. 25 probe kills. Zoun, he has no economy. He has nothing left here. He has an army, don't get me wrong. He has 3 Colossus, but he cannot sustain himself. Not like this. He's now moving out. Shin, he's getting away with not taking. When we saw the Colossus, I was like, yo, Shin, is it time to take into Lurkers? He's like, nah. we commit with Lingbane Hydra. That's all we need. Trust me. I trust him now. There it is. There's the infestation bit. So he is taking, but regardless, Zoun is pushing in. Zoun is all in. At this point, Zoun is completely all in. Lings, they go for a counterattack. They hit the third base. Zoun being forced back. +2 is denied. Sorry, Shin being forced back. +2 is going to be denied. Zoun moving in. That's so brutal concave of Hydra just waiting for him to go on top of the ramp. Lings, they do deny mining. And here comes Shin coming in from behind. Attempts to surround. Aliens, they crash in. Good concave here with these Hydras. Lings, they come in as well. Colossus, they trade well. Uh-oh. Yeah, trading well for themselves. Again, a messy fight here from Shin. They just shut down most of the support. As the 3 Colossus live, but what else? A handful of Stalkers. As Zoun is down to 36 probes. Down to 36 workers. They hit the third. Oh, one's in, just finishing off the base. They get the kill. And Zoun still completely all in. Has built up a decent Stalker count. But likewise, Shin has been building up more Hydras. More Hydras, more Lings. Hive is on the way. Shin moving up for a counterattack, which catching reinforcements. Not bad. Catching Stalkers, forcing defensive warpins. Sentries have amassed. They're on the other side of the wall. Which means they're trapped here. Zoun trying to break out. trying to break out. Shin building up 17 more Banelings. Hive is almost done. We need those Vipers. Really, that's the main thing that Shin is missing here. His lack of Vipers. Likewise, the saturation from Shin isn't ideal. He's not mining from the gold. He should be. No mining from the gold base. Heavily there we go. Now does transfer over, but heavily oversaturated. Does need another expansion. Needs another base. Just now taking the hatchery. Zoun, can he pull this off? With all these force fields, it's possible. Remember, there's no Ravagers. No Ravagers, force fields that can completely shut down an army. Even though Shin is close to maxing, Zoun can fight half the army at a time. Does push in. Shin, he abandons these bases. Massive losses. Oh, at the same time, though, Shin going for a counterattack. Oh, gets us around on these sentries. Trying to force a recall. But Zoun is trading well. Takes down the Hydroden. Yeah, Shin, this follow-up, it has been lackluster. Shin, he was late to tech, late to take another expansion. Shin, he's broke. He has no money. He's on one base economy. No shot. Zoun, he can still win this game. He rotates these 3 Colossus. They've done quite a lot here for Zoun so far. He's rotating towards the north. But here come the Vipers. Here come the abductions. He gets 1. He gets 2. He gets a hallucination. Oh god, the bait! The bait is real. Very nice force fields. He yoinks the hallucinations. The real one survives. Zoun, he's crazy. He hallucinates again. Yo, Shin, can he guess correctly? Ay, ay, ay. Oh no! Up! He gets it! Yeah, it does get it in the end. And it was a low HP Colossus, so he knew. This time was aware. Brings it down, no more splash damage. And Shinny should have enough. Still brutal pushing in, trying to push past these force fields. Up! Going for the blinding cloud. Calm down, Shin, calm down. Oh, but he has a base. He has a base mining. His mining is saturating. I spoke too soon. Oracles come in. 4 drone kills. Alas, talking about Shin's lack of economy, likewise, Zoun is similar here. Zoun, he's on half a base mining. No third. It was knocked down time and time and time again. His long distance mining even. Zoun has been all in for the past 8 minutes. But it has been an intense 8 minutes, is what I will say. Who else is coming in? Okay. Now this time the Colossus is full HP. So can he successfully hide the Colossus? Let's go. Gold is on the way. Shin, he is now taking up in towards Lurker Tech. Hive is done. Lurker's now on the way. Really, that's all Shin needs. Shin just has to calm down, take more bases, and tech up into Lurkers. Zoun getting ready for his move out. 7 Lurkers morphing in. The reality is, it's just no good answer for Zoun. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with Lurkers? Either Skytos or Mass Immortal, Immortal Archon even. But the Rovers have been busy making Colossus. No Immortals. Well, again, Zoun doesn't know. Oh, nice catch. Very nice force fields. How many things was that? Oh, getting updated. Does catch out those things. Never mind. Just 6. Assumed it was more. As the lurker count is slowly building up over time. The higher the lurker count, the less likely it is for Zoun to be able to break through. His gold base is getting up there. Zoun, he has an economy. As he gets the gold, he can take this triangular third base as well. Getting more expansions. Yo, can Zoun stabilize? He's getting there. Getting there. Like, despite Storm being on the way, which is going to be amazing, it would be amazing if Shin was still stuck on Lingbane Hydra. If there weren't lurkers, then sure, but there are lurkers, is the problem. Moving out with Hallucination, confirming no southern bases. Shin migrating towards the north instead, building up his economy. Shin has to be very careful. He cannot fight without his lurkers. Cannot fight without them. Has to pull away. Speaking of, more lurkers morphing in. So far, 16, soon to be 20 lurkers. That's a lot of lungers, Bappy. Ah. We're getting ready to lung. Let's go. Shin is moving out. Let's move out. Let's push across the map. Nice knife. Getting one. Getting one. Oh, God. Getting one lurker. But the punish is real. And we're going for a base trade. Yeah, Zoun knows he cannot fight the lurkers. 20 lurkers moving in. I guess now 19. Ah, there are lurkers to defend back at home, though. Shin, he has lurkers to defend. Breaks through the natural. We attend the base trade. Oh, but we cannot push into lurkers. GG gets called, and Shin, he will take a lead in the series at 2-1. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG well played, a very intense game. Things looking dire for Zoun, but Zoun, he clawed his way back into that. Again, he made a game out of it. Shin still maintained his lead and thankfully eventually switched into lurkers. But there were moments in that game where Shin, he was in trouble, especially when Shin gave up on his third and fourth. If you remember, he lost 2 bases. If you remember, Zoun, he was gaining ground and moving forward. He arguably could have kept going. Could have kept pushing and tried to push in towards that natural, but there was a concave of Hydras and wasn't really feeling too confident. The downside, though, is that again, he had still fallen behind economically. He was still on a 1-base economy. His third base was denied twice at that point. Just could not maintain himself. GG. GG well played, and that leads us into game number 4. But we'll see if Zoun can bring it back and force the ace match, or if it all ends here and now in favor of Shin, as we load into Neon Violet Square. Let's go. We're loading into the largest map in the map pool. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neon Violet Square, we have the blue Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg, representing GuMiho Gladiators, leading the series 2-1, 1 game away from taking the tournament, taking the series. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player from South Korea down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is Zoun. Did I miss the Server vs. Clem final? They do play later tonight. Later tonight in Little League Cup is going to be Server vs. Clem. That is not a final. That is the upper bracket final. What does that mean? I mean, there's still, like, what, 2 more days? And my apologies. I misspoke. Cell vs. Clem is not tonight. Cell vs. Clem is tomorrow. It's 3 days remaining of Little League Cup. Tonight, I believe, is the lower bracket, and then the day after is the upper bracket finals, and then the day after that is the grand finals. So it's still 3 days left. We're rushing into the gold. I didn't get so bad, but yes, we're rushing into the gold base. Let's go. For those that are curious, Little League Cup is a 5-day event for the playoffs, and we've been casting Little League Cup every evening for the past 2 days so far, and there's still 3 days remaining. Yeah. Again, Little League Cup is going to be in 8 hours? 8 hours time. Oh, wait, we're cannon, let's go! We're cannon rushing! Shin, he rushes into the gold. Zoun, he responds with a gateway into Forge into Cannon Rush. Let's go. We're here to shut this down. Shin, he's in the dark. He has no idea what's going on. Overlords are moving out across the map. He does not keep the second Overlord back at home, which he usually would. SHIN is coming in to transfer to saturate that base. Ooh, and are the cannons too late? We need the cannons, papi. Drones have arrived. First cannons in production, but the drones are here to punish. Oh, they get onto the first cannon. Yeah, first cannon is going to be denied, but he forced the cancel. Oh, and this is looking a little bit dire here. The cannon rush is delayed. Spine Crawler's on the way. Lings as well, alongside the Queen. There's one cannon. It is protected. Second cannon on the way. But alas, SHIN, he will shut this down. Does force a cancel. There's one cannon left. And the spine should finish. The cannon will complete. True. Does complete, and drones have to back off, but Lings have arrived. And this is cleaned up. Ooh, Zoun is behind. No expansion. Delayed natural here. Getting even into... It's getting into +1. Oh, and this is a rough position for Zoun. Again, it was an impromptu cannon rush. Alas, did not pay off in the end. Alas, SHIN, he will be able to expand. He takes advantage of the goal base. SHIN has a boosted economy. And remember, Zoun, his natural is heavily delayed. Oh, boy. Did do some indirect damage here by forcing a spine crawler and by killing some Lings and forcing earlier Lings as well, but Zoun has some catching up to do. Catching up to do. Light needs to unionize. Light needs to sleep. I say that after this series, I'm probably have to edit some VODs. I mean, again, as we saw before, the stream went down earlier, so I have to like download and splice them together. It's gonna be a process, and then I go to sleep. Then I go to bed. Wake up in time for Lily Cup. That is the plan. That's the plan. Meanwhile, Zoun is gonna be secure here. Is secure, going for the Stargate. Now, what I will say, on the one hand, Zoun is in a rough position, but pocket base. There is a pocket base here, so Zoun, he can cut corners, he can more greedily expand, get the third up and running without too much issue. There it is, third base is on the way. So Zoun, he can recover. It's still difficult, he's still in a worse position than he otherwise should be, and more importantly, SHIN gets away with the gold, but Zoun, he's not out of this. As the Overlord is being forced back, he is going to be killed. SHIN did get eyes on the tech though. He is aware of the Stargate and the Oracle Opener. Every time. God damn it, Diva. God damn it. Oh, even SHIN getting supply blocks, making 6 Overlords. Overlords to arrive. SHIN from here should just be droning. He's making extra Lings just to be secure. Just to contain. But there it is, going for the lair. Lair first by SHIN. And we'll see how many gases are being taken. Go extra gases here at the natural. Safety Roach Warren, which again, I don't think we need to be as safe, but SHIN just being careful. Going for the Roach Warren. Taking gases. Lings are still being active. And that is going to be a Templar Archives follow-up. Okay, we're going to +1 and charge, not blink. This does make sense. Blink would be a more macro-based opener. +1 charge does tell us that that Zoun wants to be aggressive. He wants to be assertive. Wants to move out, so denies the 4th. Not bad. Does deny the expansion. Zoun is trying to secure himself. Going to Storm. Storm is on the way. Robo as well. Zoun, he will soon move out as he's building up. I mean, I'm making the assumption here. We'll see if he instead just secured himself and just takes a later fourth. Shin likewise embracing Hydra production. Did go for the safety Roach Warren, but as we can see here, he's not making any Roaches. Doesn't need to. Just in case he was being all-in. Just a precaution. As now Shin is droning. Saturating his bases. Oracles, they do hit the gas, guys. Just not bad. Getting 2, getting 3, 4. 4 drones going down. Very nice damage here by Zoun. And I was curious. Spire is on the way. Interesting. And Zoun is turtling. I assumed that he was going to be moving out with Storm and +1. There is a timing available, but no. Fleet Beacon's on the way. Zoun is turtling up. Turtling up, getting a 4th base. Turtling up into Tempest, into Skytos. The Spire will help quite a bit here for Shin. As he will eventually need those Corruptors. Down to the Rooks. Shin breaking out. Shin rotates. Oh! Sage stays to the face. Not bad. Sage Trap's going to be going up. There's one Sage left. Zoun is holding. So far, so good. Storms are available. Shin finishing up Hydra speed in a couple of seconds. Mothership's on the way. And can Shin break down this base? Can he deny the 4th? Trying to. Lurks in. Nice opposition micro. Storm goes off. Yeah, but the expansion is going to go down. There's no saving it. There's a cancel. Shin is going to try to commit in. Baiting out the Storm. Gets an Archon. Takes out an Archon. Denies the expansion. He pushes through. Zoun just being bullied back. Again, Zoun, he desperately needs another expansion. The Mothership is going to help, but there's plenty of Hydras. As re-expands, Shinny's here, forces a cancel. Likewise, Shinny does slip in, going for the High Templar. Nice Storms. Storms, they pop up. Archon gets forced, another Storm in the Hydras. Zoun is holding. Down he's holding on, but GG gets caught just being pulled apart. He cannot expand, he cannot take a 4th base. And Shin, he will take the series 3-1, becoming our champion for the Enki Christmas Invitational. GG. GG, well played. Shout out to Shin as he does claim the series in a 3-1. Scoreline was a best of 5, of course, and Shin does take it. But a shout out to Zoun because Zoun made for some entertaining games here. Even saw the attempted cannon rush did fall in its face, unfortunately, but even in some of these other games, even some of the games that he lost, was able to fight back and make Shin work for it. Whew, as we catch up on the bracket itself. And congratulations, shout out to all the players that did compete here tonight. All players did get a payout of some kind. True, as this was an invitational, a 4-player invitational. We had Zoun, GuMiho, ByuN, and SHIN. Of course, SHIN walking away with the bulk of the prize money. And likewise, Zoun coming in 2nd place. But regardless, GG. GG, well played. Again, SHIN, he has been looking very in form as of late, as he has been grinding a lot of online tournaments. He's been grinding a lot of events, and SHIN has been kind of reaping the rewards of that as well. It's been looking quite successful. Zoun, likewise, I mean, hey, he took down GuMiho. GuMiho, he's the reigning Home Story Cup champion, by the way. GuMiho is in form, but still falls to Zoun. So a very impressive play here out of Zoun as well. And that is going to wrap up our broadcast for the morning. Once again, I do apologize for the stream going down earlier. Again, it's just out of our control. I need to stop believing in the Australian server. Basically, the Twitch servers have been very unstable for Sydney, specifically. Every day for the past 3 days for this morning broadcast, because we cast morning and evening, like two times a day we cast. And every morning broadcast, like an hour in, the stream goes down. the stream goes down. It's not the internet, it's the connection to Twitch. And I just have to turn off the stream, connect to a different server, and then it's smooth. For those that are curious, I'm currently connected to the Japanese server instead. So we're connected to Japan, and it's fine. So, yeah. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, Sydney is a little bit unstable. And specifically, it's in the mornings, because I connect to Sydney in the evening broadcast. It's fine. Like, it's perfectly fine, perfectly stable. Just in the mornings, less so. I don't think it's traffic related. I can't imagine it would be. It would be kind of weird if that was the case. But maybe something else is going on. I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say. Regardless, I do have to adapt to that and get used to that. And yeah, hopefully I stop smudging as a result. Because it's very annoying and very sad when we were in the middle of ByuN versus SHIN. We had like peaked viewership, and then stream went down, and we lost everyone. So it's been happening. So with that, we're going to be wrapping up. I'm going to go and download what VODs are remaining and try to edit them together and upload them to YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel if you wish to check out the VODs. VODs are available over on YouTube on a daily basis. Plenty of content on YouTube, plenty of content to embrace, so do check it out. Otherwise, if you want to watch live, we mentioned it earlier. Bam! Here we go. We have our schedule this week. We just wrapped up with the Enki Christmas Invitational here Friday morning, and we were talking briefly about Little League Cup earlier. You can see there on the schedule 5 days straight of Little League Cup action. 5 days straight, and tonight is day 3. Tonight is day 3. I believe we're going to be featuring Skillus, Rainer, alongside 2 other players. Skillus, Rainer, alongside Hero, and who am I forgetting? Alongside Hero and Zoun. All right, yeah, Zoun's there. Zoun's there as well. Let's go. So it's gonna be a banger of a night. Do look forward to it. Cyril and Clem are not playing tonight. They're playing tomorrow. They're playing tomorrow. Bear that in mind. Tonight we are covering the lower brackets instead. So we do have plenty more games. Also, we have another broadcast coming up, and again, that's gonna be in 8 hours' time. I'm gonna go and get some food, get some rest, work on some VODs, and then get some sleep, and I'll be well rested, hopefully in time for tonight's broadcast. We'll be all over that, don't you worry. And of course, we have tomorrow's cast. Jeez, it's gonna be a back-to-back cast, I just realized. It's gonna be Little League Cup tonight. That's gonna lead into Fire Grow Cup. You can see on Saturday morning, into Fire Grow Cup, into KSL, into Little League, rinse and repeat, more Fire Grow Cup, and more Little League Cup as well. It's gonna be a long day. Let me tell you, it's gonna be a long... I mean, it always is here on the CranKy Ducklings. Again, we cast more often than any other channel out there. We got the quantity when it comes to the StarCraft. Plenty of casting twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, as you can see here. Plenty of StarCraft to come, and next week is going to be more of the same. We did take a day off this week. We took Monday off, but that's because I was under the weather. Otherwise, we would have casted then as well. Unfortunately, we had a very intense weekend of StarCraft, and I was out of it on Monday. Completely out of it. But with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We do appreciate it. Shout out to Enki, of course. Enki el hermoso. Enki, he is, of course, the Spanish caster. There used to be a plethora of Spanish casters, but Enki over the years has come out on top, and is the go-to Spanish caster for StarCraft 2, and likewise has been hosting his own and funding his own events as of late. This is a part of that. He did host his own Christmas Invitational, and he's been hosting some best of 9s as of late as well. We'll be going over those best of 9 show matches next week. We'll be there. We'll be all over it. So don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll be able to embrace that. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We're going to be heading off for the time being. You can support us on Patreon if you wish. Our Patreon is set up to fund our tournaments. Otherwise, we'll see you later tonight or tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Again, depending on what time zone you're in, you can either watch us live, watch the VOD. I'm sure there's something for everyone involved, so plenty of StarCraft to come. We'll see you guys tomorrow or tonight, whenever we see you. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.